Also, I guess I should have asked you. Is it okay if I curse? I kind of curse like a sailor. Like, I'm very expressive, so it's just part of my lingo. But I know you're gonna make this a video, so I didn't know if that's like allowed. I'm really bad about it. Like when we go to family functions and there's like little munchkins running around everywhere, I'll be like, oh shit, hi! And I'm like, oh fuck. And then I'll be like, ah, damn it, just take me out of the room.
Yeah.
I can't be trusted. I mean, I get along with the kids, but yeah, I'm always saying all the wrong things that I'm not allowed to say in front of them. My family thinks it's funny though. They're like, dude, come on now. And I'm like, you already know me though. Like, yeah. Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Valerie Rei. Lopez is my last name, but I tend to just go by Valerie Rei. A lot of my business cards say Valerie Rei. I always say LA, but I kind of grew up between like anywhere and everywhere from East LA to like Corona. I moved around a lot when I was younger, so I didn't really stick to one area. LA is my home because I felt more comfortable there, but I pretty much I went to school and all that at my dad's in Corona. Yeah. We're gonna do this. I always butcher it, but we're gonna do this. Geisha in black and gray on the arm. So should be pretty fun. We're actually tattooing one of my really good clients that has been getting tattooed by me since I first started. So he has a bunch of like beginning tats from me from like 2-3 years ago. So it's pretty cool. I actually started off with like a rotary pen when I first started learning. I kind of didn't know any better. And then my apprenticeship wasn't like a stereotypical like apprenticeship of sorts, I guess. They all kind of used rotaries, so nobody really used coil machines when I was like coming up. So it wasn't until I started working at like my first traditional shop that my boss was like kind of took me under his wing and like started showing me how to use coils. And yeah, I got these ones. This is like my first set. They're Midtown machines, but they're my first babies. I haven't gotten anything else since then. I really need new ones just because I work with these so much all the time. It's good to have backups, but one crisis at a time. And then I have tiny hands compared to most of the people in here, so I like to have my grips super, super big. They always make fun of me for it, but it makes my hands feel better while I'm tattooing just because I grip the shit out of it, so.
Trad is such a niche look, so it's like you see a lot of people do it, and then at the same time you see a lot of people kind of just doing the same shit. Everyone kind of just looks like they're doing the same shit, so it's cool when someone can grab that style and make it their own. You could tell she draws her own shit. Everything has like there are certain ways she does certain things that you could tell that it's hers. She's not just recycling the same images exactly the way they were drawn. If anything, she's like not even, like her style is like kind of very far from trad at the same time. You know what I mean? Like she's not tracing old shit, kind of like how a lot of fucking trad dudes do, yeah, or whatever. Unique, she's unique, her style's unique.
I originally started in Phoenix, and so I moved out here a couple years ago, and I actually knew Val's work back then. We had like followed each other, and we kind of like would like each other's flash and like comment on each other's shit and stuff like that. Super like formal or whatever. And then ironically, I was working here for just a couple months. We hadn't even posted that we were hiring anybody. And then she kind of came in and was like, hey, I'm just introducing myself. Like, just want to check out the new shop, whatever. And I kind of looked at her and I was like, are you trying to low-key work here? And she was like, yeah, I kind of would. And so you know, I was pretty in with the co-owners, Aaron and Julia, so I kind of just talked to them, and I was like, hey, I think she wants to do more than just like guests here, you know? So I was already putting in a good word for her because her flash kind of speaks for itself. She used to do this really like biker-esque trad with like big color pops, like pinks and blues and purples, you know? And like trad's already really colorful, but it's a standard like red, green, yellow. And so she was kind of doing something really fresh with it. And so I thought that was really cool. I thought she could add like a really dynamic piece to like the crew that we had here.
Sometimes I have to make sure these are tight just because the machines are made for coil, like, sorry. The machines are made for metal tubes. And we don't have like a autoclave for metal tubes, so I can't get any metal tubes. But with the plastic one, sometimes the tube's too small for the vise where it holds. So it took me a while to figure out which ones fit my machine, but these ones fit. I just have to tighten them pretty tight so that the tube doesn't move around while I'm like shading and stuff. But it took me a while to figure that out though at the beginning. I went through so many different types of brands trying to find like a tube that fit my machine, and I was like, fuck dude, like I can't even use these properly because my tube would just be like all over the place mid-tattoo. I would have to stop every like 5 minutes to readjust it, and my client's like, are you okay? Like, are you good? I'm like, yeah, sorry, just technical difficulties. And then, boom. This one actually smells like bubblegum. Yeah, there's another one that's pretty popular. I feel like all the girlies use it. And this one, but it just comes like in a smaller container. And I feel like I would spend so much money on it and go through it so fast. I would need to get one like every other week, pretty much. This lasts me like a whole month, and it still smells just as good, so. Boom. Yeah. When I first started tattooing, the other brand that I used, I didn't realize that they were scented. And so the whole time I thought it was my clients that smelled like bubble gum. And I was like, damn, all my clients smell like bubble gum. Like, that's kind of fire. And I would have the glide right here on my hand while I'm tattooing. So I'm like right there. And it took me like, I think a couple months. And then I was like, oh shit, like it's my fucking glide, like dumbass. That should be pretty much everything. I usually wait to pour my inks until after I have the stencil on there. That way I can give my stencil time to dry on the skin, and then it doesn't wipe off right away. And I think my client's in the restroom really quick, so once he's out, we'll kind of get him back here and then get a move on it. So I wake up at 7. I've actually been really good with my morning routine. I wake up at 7, I feed my cat, I kind of go to the gym, do breakfast, kind of get like everything ready to go. I'll tend to like work on my designs the night before, depending on whether or not they require more time. Like sleeves and stuff like that, I'll kind of work on them like a few days in advance, but I kind of tend to do things the night before if it's something manageable, and then that way everything's ready when I come in. I usually come in around noon, that's when the shop opens, and then I'm here pretty much all day. So sometimes I'll book like one tattoo, or I like to have multiple appointments throughout my day. I feel like it makes the day go by faster. Plus I'm kind of just used to like walk-in shop environment, so even if I have one appointment scheduled, I'll have time for walk-ins. I'll do like a couple of those. Kind of just depends on how booked I am. Right now it's like the middle of February. I feel like it's kind of starting to pick up a little bit. So right now I tend to have like an appointment a day, and then I do like a walk-in or two, and then kind of work on flash, and then kind of just go home and chill and hang out with my boyfriend and my cat and just do that.
With the walk-in, step off the wall?
I feel like people here tend to get more stuff off of the wall, or are more gravitated towards it. The previous walk-in shops that I've worked at, we've always tried to get people to kind of do that, and they just weren't really into it. I mean, I was working in downtown LA and then East LA right afterwards, so those areas are kind of very heavily black and gray influenced. A lot of people want black and gray realism, black and gray fine line. Like, they're not really looking to get like traditional palm-sized tattoos. I feel like in this area there's more, and then with all of the artists that work here, everyone has like a pretty decent following. Everyone's pretty well known in like the trad community, so a lot of those followers tend to come here and they come with the intention of like, oh, let me pick something off the wall, or let me pick some flash out of like somebody's book. So I tend to do more of that here than I used to. Most of the time though, I mean, it's just like older white women sometimes, just because of the demographic over here, and they'll come in, want something really like Pinterest small tattoo, so kind of just do that really quick, and then they're content, happy, and then they walk out. So it's kind of a mix, yeah. Are you excited? Yeah, it'll hopefully be a lot more chill.
Elbow wasn't bad.
Yeah. I feel like when I got mine on that part, it wasn't bad at all, so should be pretty easy. Let me toss this really quick. All right, and then let me have you sideways. Thank you.
I actually have a tank if you want me to wear that if it's easier.
Do you like your shirt a lot?
I do.
I was like, I would change it just in case.
And then I'm just like, all right, I got like 2 more of those, like max, and then I'm done. So I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, maybe I can have you show him all the stuff we've done on the torso too. Yeah, we've been working on his torso for like the past few sessions that we've done. So the last one we did was this dragon right here. So that's all healed up. And then these angels right here are from when I first started tattooing in Corona. Then we did the eagle, then the 2 cats on either side, the daggers up here, and then that was the last one, the dragon.
And then
Yeah, we did the elbow. In between that, it's like the Mac Miller album. And then there's a couple on your arm from when I first started in Corona too, right?
yes, there's this one.
It's so different from like all the other stuff now.
And then this one as well.
Yeah.
I think this might have been the first one.
I think that was the first one too, yeah.
So it's been a long time. I think that was 2021. So
Yeah, it's been a minute. Super sick. All right, you can go ahead and change. I just wanted to show him that.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, the dragon looks pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, it came out super nice.
Did you have any issues with it? I mean, I know it's like on your hips, so when it's like touching your pants, it probably sucked a little
Honestly,
bit.
it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Oh, really?
The main thing, I had to take the Sanoderm off right away because on the drive home, my belt had torn it. So
No.
I had to take it off. But other than that,
It was chilling? Sick.
actually, I thought it would irritate me a lot more. But
Nice. I feel like with my dragons, it was kind of, because they go on my hip bones a little bit. So anytime I would go to like the restroom, just like taking my pants off, like it would rub right there, and I would be like, fuck, kind of sucks.
I thought it would bother me more
Can I have you stand up?
just when my like pant line was resting on it.
Yeah.
It was really only if it like moved on it. Other than that.
Sick. That's good. Yeah, it healed really good. The white looks really good.
Yeah, that's my first piece of white, so I was like really interested to see how that would look.
Yeah. I feel like it's really noticeable when you first do it, and then it kind of, once it's settled into the skin, it kind of meshes with like your skin tone a little bit.
That's kind of what I realized. It kind of meshed in.
Yeah. Honestly, same, dude. Yeah, everyone on Instagram really liked it, so I was pretty pumped about it.
I hope so. It sucked to get done.
Yeah, you're a trooper, but yeah, this one will be a lot more chill. I feel like all the stuff on your torso has been pretty rough. After I got my dragons, I was like, dude, I'm not touching my torso anytime soon.
I just think if I wait too long, like I'm not going to finish it.
Yeah. I mean, you're pretty much all done. You just have like the actual rib cage now.
Yeah. We'll see. I still want to. I need to finish them.
Yeah. Well, this will cover a big chunk of the top part, so.
So it might be doing
Yeah, that's kind of why I also like this placement for it. I feel like it'll fill out like this whole side of your arm really good, and then you can do some bigger, like longer ones kind of on the back part of the tricep and then the bicep too.
Well, actually, no, I know where to go. Yeah, because I look at that stuff, like even the stuff he's doing, it doesn't, to me, I'm like, I don't think, to me, I don't think it's crazy. I feel like that's normal.
Before you cut out, was there like
I think it's just simplified in my head that it's like, it's also like that on your day-to-day basis when you drive. One long maneuver from another car.
Let me have you go right here and then take like one step back.
But I guess it's just more pressure to think about.
I like that. Let me just get a second opinion.
The part of it that I have a hard time understanding.
Can you just check this on his arm and see if it's like straight and centered? I know it's kind of like, it has a little curve to it. So I just want to make sure it's like not too curved on his arm. No? Good? Sick. Hell yeah. Perfect. All right. Yeah, you can take a look at it. Like it? Yeah, and then once you have like that little gap right here, but I feel like you'll be able to do like a small little like gap filler or like a palm size thing, depending on like what you do right here.
Yeah.
Do you have anything on like the ditch? You do, huh?
It just kind of goes into it.
Yeah, I would probably fill this spot in first, the back part, and then your inner bicep if you kind of end up doing different designs for all three before you fill in this spot. That way, whatever's right here, you can kind of do that straight on, and then you have a better idea of what's able to fit right there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sick. What did I do before tattooing? I've had a bunch of jobs before tattooing. Like I was telling my client earlier, I didn't naturally go into tattooing wanting to do this. It kind of just like happened because nothing else was working out. I went to school and then I was working retail for 2 years, and then I quit all my jobs, stopped going to school, and then I kind of got an apprenticeship after lockdown. Around the time I was like, I think 18 turning 19. So I had just gone out of high school. I was like kind of just going to college full time, and then stopped all of that, quit all my jobs, and then started apprenticing. I worked at Amazon for maybe like a month. Worked at Chipotle. I worked at UPS. I worked at Nordstrom Rack. I had like a bunch of little other side gigs, DoorDash mainly, just to kind of keep afloat. But all the other jobs, I would stay there for maybe like a month on average, and then it just would be too conflicting to keep the job and then also apprentice, just because they wanted me at the shop most of the time. And then all these other jobs, they were like kind of flexible, but they wouldn't really work with my schedule. So once it got too in the way of like my apprenticeship, I kind of just tended to be like, all right, like deuces, like I kind of have to make this happen, you know? But yeah, I've had a lot of different routes that I've gone, so. I'm gonna hit 4 years in April. 4 years and then 2 years apprenticing before that. So altogether 6, just like kind of being in the game. So kind of feels crazy. Like even talking about like the other jobs and stuff, I'm like, wow, it's kind of a whole different lifetime ago. Yeah, that was so sad. None of it was working out too. I'd be like, I just want a tattoo. I don't want to have these other jobs, but I had to be kind of responsible. So that was the only reason I would ever kind of step away from it and kind of try and find something that would help me stay afloat. But yeah, I kind of just ended up quitting all of those and then just apprenticing. Yeah, I just got the back of my leg tattooed on Monday.
Oh, I think I had seen you posting about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was on the back of the knee. That shit sucked, bro. Was not fun. It was a cover up, so I knew he was gonna have to go big with it. And he showed me like a few designs. We picked one, and I was like, okay, sick. And he was like, cool, I'm gonna print out some sizes. He printed out one size, and then like I could just feel like him like looking at it on my leg, and I was like, fuck, I think it goes into the knee ditch. And then he was like, yeah, I think I have to make it a little bit bigger, that way it covers everything. And I was like, okay. He came out with a bigger size, and it like definitely went towards like the back of my knee, and I was like, oh god, it's gonna freaking suck.
Yeah, my legs is something I need to start.
Do you have anything on them or no?
I have nothing actually. So those are completely blank at the moment.
Yeah. You said you wanted to do your arms and like your torso first before you do that, right?
I'll probably kind of jump to them just because I feel like it also looks a little weird
Yeah.
with nothing.
Yeah, you're like top heavy.
Yeah. So I'd kind of like to mix a few in.
Dude, I'm running out of like easy spots on my leg right now that are like fun to get tattooed. I have all the backs of my thighs open, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, back to the thigh sounds like a rough spot too.
My thing is always like, how do people go to the restroom?
Yeah.
Especially like public restrooms. Obviously, like that's probably like a no-go, you know? But I don't know. I feel like I also kind of heal rough sometimes, so I'm always just traumatized of like getting them infected or just anything like that. How's this one feeling so far?
I was about to say it's crazy how much less it hurts.
Yeah, you're like going in like, fuck, this is gonna suck. You're like, oh, it's not that bad.
Like your stomach is just like, I'm nervous the whole time driving over here.
You're looking forward to it because you know it's gonna look cool, but like the whole time leading up to it, you're so anxious.
Like I'll be really excited for it, and then like the drive over is when it starts getting really like
Your hands start shaking. You're like nervous sweating. I know, that's how I felt whenever I did like a session with Mike for my stomach. Because I think it took me like 5 sessions to finish my dragons on my torso. And yeah, we did like outlines the first go around, some of the shading like the second one, and then I got it in color like a dumbass, so it took twice as long.
They did come out really nice though. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy that I have them, but definitely naive going into it. I was like, oh, I got my knees tattooed, like it'll be fine. It was not fine.
I think that's the thing that surprised me. Like, I've heard you guys talk about like getting your hands done before and like how bad that hurt.
Oh yeah,
And
my palms were pretty bad.
Because like it just seems like a spot that wouldn't hurt that bad, but then I guess thinking about it, I can see why. There's just so many bones.
Yeah. It's also one of those things that I feel like until you've had like a really hard like part of the body to get tattooed, like it's one of those things like, it can't be that bad, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like I have like a pretty high pain tolerance too, so for me, I would always hear like people talking about like, dude, this fucking sucked to get done. And I was like, it can't be that bad, bro. And like sometimes I'll tattoo clients and they're like going through it, really like struggling, and I'm like, damn, is it really like crazy like that? And then I think I had like my first painful tattoo, and I was like, holy shit, like this is why people actually tap out. Like I understand. It's just one of those pains too. I feel like you can like kind of breathe through certain things, and you're like, oh, this kind of sucks, but like I can like breathe through it, like talk myself through it. There's like certain ones where like, nah, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
to like kind of like help cope with the pain. I think that's what makes it like more unbearable.
Who was or is your biggest inspiration?
So the guy that I want to tattoo my back, he works out, I think I have to look it up low-key, but his name is Julian Bass. He's another tattooer, and I always geek out whenever I see him post. I feel like he's just like a genuine artist. Like, if you look up any of his stuff, like, it's just mind-blowing. Like, he does like these crazy, almost like impressionism type like paintings, and his usage of color, just any of his canvases to even just like what he tattoos and executes on skin, like all of it is just amazing. Like, I strive to be like as good as him one day. He's like one of like my biggest inspirations. He has been since I started, so kind of want to be like him.
How did you first find out about Valerie? I met her through an ex-girlfriend, actually. But I think we met at it was like a party a while back, and that's when I found out she was tattooed.
Yeah, so his ex was my coworker at Kohl's, and she was like, "Oh my God, my boyfriend really wants to get tattooed," and I was like, "Fuck it, let's do it." So, and then we met at a party.
I think
For the first time? Was it the Christmas party?
Yeah, I think
Ariana's Christmas party? Dude, I got
Yeah,
fucked
that's
up
the
that night. I blacked out. That was a good time. It's so funny too, because I went in just kind of like, oh, we're just gonna hang out, it'll be chill, and then, yeah, he had to like carry me to the car, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. I think I do had met her.
Yeah. I know, it's kind of crazy. It's been a minute.
Long time ago, actually.
Yeah, I don't talk to any of them
was
either.
2020.
Yeah, it was like right after the COVID lockdown, pretty much.
What type of style do you do?
Traditional. I feel like I do traditional. The way I do it is a little bit different. It's not like the standard trad. I feel like I tend to kind of have more of a light source when I'm shading things, as opposed to your standard traditional tattoo artist. But I think that's also kind of what sets my stuff apart from other trad tattooers. I could also be completely wrong, but yeah, I kind of like the way that I shade things a little bit more. It makes sense for me, but yeah.
Are you guys pretty busy on Friday the 13th?
Yeah. It was all of us tattooing, and then Hunter's been pretty much like kind of easing his way into taking like more like walk-ins and stuff since he's been learning. He's a lot better now, so they kind of wanted him to like be in the rotation that day. So he got to tattoo, and then we also have the new female artist that I was telling you about earlier. She was there that day too, and she was like on the rotation. So it was like our usual 5 plus the extra 2 people, and we all got to do around like 5 or 6 tattoos that day. Yeah, it was a pretty consistent flow. So pretty good. We didn't know how the turnout was gonna be, especially with like the new people like in the rotation.
Yeah.
So we were kind of just like feeling it out. It was our first event with that many people working. Besides like when we have like guest artists and stuff, but usually it's just like 1 extra person, not like 2 extra people.
Yeah.
But it worked out. It was pretty chill. I actually got to see one of my old clients from Boyle Heights. Completely like threw me for a loop because I haven't seen him in like maybe over a year or 2. And he used to get tattooed by me like all the time while I was out there. And he was like one of the first people that walked in, and I was like, "Oh, dude, what is up?" So we kind of just like started talking. I ended up tattooing him, which was pretty sick. Got to see some of like my other stuff healed up on his arm. It was a good day.
What's your favorite thing about tattooing?
Honestly, all of it. I like meeting new I kind of like just like chit-chatting with people. I feel like most of my clients like talking, so I like kind of like learning about them, their backstory. Like sometimes they'll get things that are like kind of special to them. I mean, a lot of them tend to do like flash and stuff like that, but a lot of the times I do a lot of custom work. So sometimes they want certain designs for certain reasons. So it's kind of nice hearing the backstory, or like I have a lot of people that get referred to me by other clients of mine, and they're like, oh yeah, like you actually tattooed like my cousin, or like you tattooed like my really good friend, and like that's how I found out about you. So it's kind of cool just hearing how connected everyone is. You kind of realize how small of a world it is, and I don't know, it's just kind of genuine. I like hanging out with people and talking and just like becoming friends with everyone.
I don't know why it feels like it's been a long time since I've gotten tattooed. And
When did you do the dragon? December?
second birthday.
It's been like a month or two?
Like the first week of December.
Yeah.
A few months actually. Like 3 months.
Yeah, right now I'm on actually like a tattoo wave of getting like tattooed. I got one from Mike last week on the side of my leg. It was just like a little gap filler. He was supposed to tattoo and he had all his stuff set up, and then it didn't end up happening. So I was like, fuck it, I'm down. So we did something on my leg, and then on Monday I got tattooed by Aaron. And then next month I'm supposed to get tattooed by G. I'm getting something on my neck.
You're gonna get your neck done?
Yeah.
The side or the front?
Just the side. Kind of this, I have like a LA on the side right here. I kind of want it like on the opposite side.
Okay.
She has like a design on one of the, I think the Friday the 13th flash that I really liked. It was like a girl's eye that's crying. So I was like, oh, that would be pretty sick on the side, so.
I've heard that the side of the neck isn't that bad.
I'm kind of a little bitch. I opted for getting fine line instead of traditional, and I did it on purpose. I was like, I don't think I can handle a traditional tattoo on the side of the neck, bro. Yeah. It looks super cool, and I really like it, but I don't know. I'm a little scared.
It could be different for people. Like, I mean, different people, of course. But my sister, who I think does not have the highest the pain tolerances.
Oh, really?
She got the side of her neck done, a pretty big piece, and she said it was like really not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She said it's just loud.
Yeah.
She said it wasn't as bad, and she's terrible.
Yeah, when I got the LA on the side of my neck, I went to one of my homies. He was actually working at Freddie Negretti's shop on Sunset, the Vatican. So I was kind of anxious because I was like, oh my God, I get to see Freddie Negretti, you know? And yeah, I had like literally no sleep. I think I had just started working here. So I came over here, dropped my stuff off, and then I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll see you guys on like my start date. And then I went straight over to like Hollywood and then got tattooed. So I was functioning off of zero sleep, but it was pretty chill. I fell asleep for it.
That's kind of how I felt with the elbow, honestly. I felt like I had moments where, like, my eyes were closing.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss when tattoos used to feel like that. You're like, oh, this is so nice. Yeah. I can go to sleep. Yeah, I think right now, I have like a few spots on my arm that still need to be filled up, but all like the big areas are like the backs of my thighs, the inside of my thighs, my back. I'm like, ugh. I do want my back to get done though, like pretty soon.
What's your favorite thing to tattoo?
I think skulls. skulls and then pinups. I don't get to do them too often, but both of those are my favorite. I have a lot of pinups and a lot of skulls on me, so I like tattooing them.
Would you say that you would like to tattoo more of the skulls and pinups?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I like getting them tattooed on me, and I like tattooing them on other people. I think there's just so many different ways that you can make them look. You can shade them completely differently, and then, I mean, pinups are just pretty. I like how girls look. I like how you can make them look super classy, elegant. Just think you can do them differently and execute them differently every single time, so it's a lot of fun for me. I also, even though I didn't really have, too much of a traditional apprenticeship, my last boss that I worked for was just, super into, everything trad. And, I don't know, he kind of embedded that mindset into me a little bit, so I'm just I don't know, the whole, corporate takeover is kind of scary sometimes, because I don't know, supplies are already super expensive, and then it's just kind of a weird time too. I feel like everybody wants to get into tattooing, but doesn't want to take it seriously. And I'm a firm believer that some things should be a little gate kept, just a tiny bit. Yeah. It makes you respect it a little bit more, and I feel like that's the part that people don't really understand sometimes. And then they get kind of insulted when you don't want to share information right away, and it's well, dude, you want to know how many fucking people I've shared information with that lasted maybe a week as an apprentice, or maybe 2 days, and then they realize how hard it is, and they're oh yeah, they don't even say anything, they just stop showing up. I'm damn, you couldn't even say none. At the shop that I apprenticed at, dude, it was a revolving door for apprentices. I kid you not, I think I taught at least maybe 15 minimum. Different just people, just how to clean, how to break people down, and from those 15, I think there was one person that lasted 3 months max. And at that shop, they kind of just wanted somebody to pretty much keep the shop clean all the time. So it was just we'd get these people coming in, and they'd be oh yeah, I want to learn how to tattoo, and then the way they would hire people is they'd have them pretty much just draw this design that they picked off the wall. It was some really boof-ass design too. It wasn't even a good one. But you would just draw the picture, and then if they thought it was remotely decent, they'd be yeah, you're hired, fuck it. So then you'd get hired, and then if you weren't there pretty much every day from open to close, they would just give you shit all the time. They'd be what are you doing? Why aren't you here? You gotta be here pretty much. And then I feel off that, people are already kind of annoyed about having to be there all the time, and then you don't learn how to tattoo right off the jump. They don't teach you anything. You're just cleaning, wiping things down constantly. And then that's the part that really gets people pissed off, because they're bro, why the fuck am I here? And I'm bro, I don't know, you tell me. Yeah, I did that shit for 2 years. I was supposed to go to Fullerton and keep studying pretty much. I got my acceptance letter because I was applying to transfer, but at that time I had started getting into my apprenticeship and stuff. And I was debating on doing the two, pretty much going to school full time and then also apprenticing on the side. And yeah, I remember my coworkers at the time, they're bro, just kind of do this. And then my mentors were also telling me dude, you're already kind of doing this, and this is a career path. There's no point in going to school. It's just gonna take up your time when you can be here. So I ended up not going. And then I did that for 2 years pretty much instead. It was a rough 2 years.
I like a lot of her pinups. She does different kind of things with her pinups. Puts I don't know, tribal tattoos in them, and adds little elements that, you know, like I said, I normally wouldn't see in like the typical traditional designs, you know. That's really cool to see from her. So a lot of that stuff is really unique and different.
I've been mentioning she's been getting into like tribal, like ornamental stuff. When she said that, I was like, well, I'll be a test dummy because I naturally gravitate towards that kind of stuff too. So instantly I was like, let's do my fingers, you know? And so she drew them by hand, you know what I mean? And I love that because it again goes into what I said earlier about the organicness and the flow. The fact that she doesn't need a stencil and doesn't need to be glued to that, I think shows how dynamic of an artist she can be, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to draw something on, and tattooing's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. And so to be able to ebb and flow in that, you know, environment, I feel like, again, just shows her talents a little bit. And then she also does like a lot of like Japanese-esque stuff. I think like some of her stuff is influenced, whether it's like a geisha, an oni, a hanya, a dragon, you know. I feel like has a lot of those Japanese-esque, which there's a lot of realistic traits in that style alone that she kind of brings to trad. And so, yeah, I kind of like just the mold or the melting pot that she has kind of going on for herself right now.
I like her ornamental stuff. That's probably my favorite. She did Hunter's palms, and then she did the little things like the decorative stuff on his ears. Like I low-key kind of want to get that now after I've seen him get that from her. So that's cool. That's cool that she pushes that stuff.
It's this this back piece of a geisha that she had did on one of her good friends that moved to Spain, but he the way that she had designed the tattoo to fit his back, it was really good. It had a lot of loose ends, but the movement of the water was very natural, and just the way it had sculpted his body, I think it was very organic. And the color palette was one that I don't think many people would think is gonna work easily, but it made sense the way it was done.
Favorite piece you've done? I could go through a few, or it's easier.
The back piece that I did on my client Sam, I think I have it on my Instagram. It's like my first color back piece that I did, but it has like a bunch of water kind of coming out from the background, and there's rocks and stuff on it. That one was a lot of fun. Sam is a really tall dude. He's like 6 foot, so it was a big back piece. It took me forever, but he was super chill client, super chill dude. Like he was consistent with coming in, and then it just kind of made the whole process a lot easier, and he sat like a rock, so it kind of just was a lot of fun to execute. And then I've done a couple back pieces before, but that was the first one I did in color, so it was also interesting just doing that. It's a whole different process, and it was a cool learning experience. That one I think is hands down one of my favorites. I'm trying to do a little bit more tribal right now and like kind of more edgy stuff, I guess. I'm like in a very transitory period of my career right now. I'm kind of trying to dial in my style a little bit more. So there's this other piece that I did on another good client of the shop's. Her name's Amaris, but it's a skull with like girl hands kind of holding it, and then it has like flames coming out around it. That one was a blast over, but it still came out pretty sick. I think that one's one of my favorites too.
One I wanted to talk about is that Virgin Mary Cupid one you did.
Oh yeah, the Christ Cupid one. Yeah, that one was sick. I was super into doing the Cupids for a second. I feel like it was the wave, but yeah, he kind of hit me up and was like, dude, I want to get a Cupid. And I was like, sick, let's do it. And he was like, I just don't know like what I would want with a Cupid. I was like, there's literally like, what do you like? Like, let's figure it out. So we kind of were chit-chatting on Instagram, going back and forth for a little bit. And he was like, would it be kind of crazy if we did like a Christ Cupid, like Virgin Mary holding him and everything? And I was like, dude, that would be so sick. So it was a really cool concept. Yeah. He sat really well for it. It's a pretty big piece. It's like around like that big, and it's like on the inside of his thigh too. So I felt bad, but he sat really well for it. Yeah, I think at that point there was a boom because COVID. What happened with COVID was a bunch of people got obviously like stimulus checks, right? So tattooing got super big because everyone had money to just waste.
Yeah.
So everybody was getting tattooed. Everybody was booking appointments. Everybody was getting like back pieces, sleeves, like you name it, right? And once all of that kind of dried up and there was no more money to spend, yeah, nobody had any more money to spend on tattoos. So then it was just like a fucking free fall into nothing. Like nobody was booking anything. And that was when I pretty much started tattooing, was when nobody had any money to spend. So I was like, hey, come book a tattoo, come book a tattoo. And literally nobody wanted to get anything. So it was just fucking horrible. And then it sucked too, because the shop that I was at the time, our social media wasn't really like too poppin'. Like we had followers, but we weren't really posting on like the stories or anything consistently enough for like it to get any reach.
Yeah.
So it really was just kind of like screaming into a void, like, hey, come book a tattoo, and like nobody would hear it. And then I started out in Corona, so for me it was really hard transitioning from Corona to LA, just because all of the clients that I did make while I was in Corona didn't want to commute all the way to LA to get tattooed. It was too far for them. So I pretty much had to start all over, and that was also like what kind of fucked me up for like the first year of me tattooing, like year and a half. Yeah, pretty much. I was rebuilding clients. I was also learning how to do traditional. I didn't redo my apprenticeship, but my boss pretty much like had me like learning from him, and he helped me get my coils. He helped me like learn how to do trad like the right way. It was kind of a gruesome process, because I felt like I already knew what I was doing, and he'd be like, man, your shit looks fucking horrible. Like, start from scratch. And I'm like, geez, dude, like, I'm trying. And he's like, well, it makes sense once you get it, but you're not at that point. And I'm like, well, how do I get it? How do you make me understand, please? Nah, he's a good dude, though. I owe him a lot. Mikey? Mikey is my previous boss from Suerte. I don't think the shop's around anymore, but he's a funny dude. He's kind of crazy sometimes, but he's a pretty chill guy. Yeah, I started working for him under unfortunate circumstances that I won't get too into, but if it weren't for those unfortunate circumstances for him, I don't think he would have hired me, because I was kind of bad. Not bad, I obviously didn't really know how to do a lot of things still. Like, I still had a long way to learn. So he was willing to kind of take the leap with me and like teach me all that stuff. So that's why I'm grateful for him. But yeah, those first few months that I worked for him, I fucking hated him. I was like, I would go into the restroom and fucking scream at the door, you know, when you get mad at your parents. I'm like, you fucking suck. Now we're really cool. Like, we're homies, yeah. I was pretty bummed out when I actually ended up leaving that shop to come work over here, just because, like, I didn't want to leave him. We were pretty tight. I also got really close to his kids, because he would bring his kids into the shop all the time. So yeah, I miss him. I miss him and his kids. I don't know what he's up to, but yeah, he's a cool dude.
What's the favorite tattoo that you got?
That I've done?
Or you got?
Or that I've gotten? That one's kind of hard. I feel like I try to keep like my tattoos, like I get tattooed by everyone here at the shop, but I also like to get tattooed when I'm traveling to like other shops and like doing my guest spots and stuff. I have a really cool pinup that I got from my buddy Bo. He had a shop in Rhode Island, but they actually just closed it. His Instagram handle is Trash Fires, but this one I got back in September, and that one's pretty sick. It's one of my favorites. And then I have one on the back of my leg I'll show you once you're ready. And then I have this other one on my calf, actually. This one's the one that Mike just did. I have this one right here. This one's by Rad Nines. She's from Philly. I know she tends to kind of travel a lot and do like guest spots, but she's pretty killer. This was like my first leg tat that I got, I think 3 years ago maybe? She did a guest spot in downtown LA, and I was like, dude, she's so sick, I have to get something from her. So I booked the appointment, and she's the sweetest person ever. That one's a good one. I have a bunch. I'm gonna start name dropping everything. This one's a really cool one from my homie Zane. He works at Lombard Street. Nestor in Long Beach did that one. My homie Xavier also works in Long Beach at Fear City. He did that one. My knees, I got back-to-back days. This one made me cry, but the guy that did them, he was guest spotting at Suerte when I was working there. He's from, I think he's based out in Kauai, like the islands. So those were pretty sick. FK Tats did my dagger right here. I have some more on my thighs, but they're kind of hard for me to get my pants up that high. Scout did this one. She works at Highland Park at Kink Tattoo. She's the homegirl. And then Erin just did that monster. That one's a new favorite. It's a little scabby right now, so I feel like I can't show it and do it enough justice at the given moment. But yeah, there's a bunch of cool ones. I got this one at Lombard Street when I did my guest spot up there, and then this one too. Stinky Luke did this one. Got this one in Bakersfield at Lucky Club by DJ. I don't know if that's his Instagram handle. I think it's something else, but yeah, I have a bunch. Oh, and then Hunter just did this one too. Well, maybe not too shabby for the apprentice, you know? But yeah, I got some cool ones. I have my stomach done too, so Mike did these ones. I think my palms are also arguably some of my favorite ones. You asked me which one are my favorites, and I'm just showing you everything. Oh, sick, cool. Honestly, I feel like my palms, I've wanted them done before I even kind of came to the conclusion that I wanted to be fully tattooed. So they're kind of one of the, I think I wanted these like back in high school. I was like, dude, I want my palms tattooed. Not understanding at all how painful it is to get your palms tattooed. But these are kind of like one of the tattoos that kind of just make me feel more complete. I'm like, dude, I've wanted these for so long, so seeing them like actually there is pretty sick. Yeah. Yeah, it sucked though. I want to add more to the top too, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do it again.
And the shop, did you find through anyone you knew, or was
This one?
Yeah.
Ironically, when I was working in downtown LA, so I worked in downtown LA off of 6th and Spring. It's literally right across the street from Hotel Cecil.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was working at Suerte on the first floor of the building that we were at, and then Aaron and Julia were working off of a private studio called the 8th floor that was on the 8th floor of that same building. So we were literally right next to each other and had no fucking clue that we were working next to each other. But we would have people walk into Suerte downstairs, and they'd always be like, oh, like, I got this address, like, I can't find, like, the actual room, like, is this the shop? And I'd be like, who are you looking for? And they'd give me some random name, and I'm like, at the time that I was working at Suerte, it was literally just me, Mikey, and my homie Xavier. So it was only 3 of us, and I was like, that's none of us. So I was like, I don't know, dude, I think you have the wrong address. And then they showed me. I'm like, no, that is our address. And I was like, oh, I have no fucking clue. But yeah, they had that private studio for a while, and then I pretty much followed them off after that. I saw Aaron's work, and his work was pretty cool. And then Julia does like a bunch of fine line stuff, and I thought that was pretty sick. So I followed them for like a while after that, and then Suerte ended up relocating to Boyle Heights not too long afterwards. My boss was having a bunch of issues with like the landlord, and the rent was too high, and we weren't really as booked up as we could have been, so we just weren't able to really afford the rent. So we ended up relocating to Boyle Heights, and that's pretty much like where I grew up with like my mom's side of the family. So it felt cool, it felt like home, and it was like comfortable, but it was also like some crazy hood rat shit going on. Like you got like a bunch of fucking gangs. We were like pretty much sandwiched in between a bunch of like gang related chaos. Like it was just a bunch of crazy shit. Like we had foods like walk in and they would want like their like fucking logos like on the neck, just like it was just wild. And then it sucked a little bit just because most of the time I'd be there by myself. So, and then I'm a girl, and I mean, now I feel like I'm able to kind of dress a little bit nicer, but when I worked there, I straight up dressed like a dude. I was like, I can't have these people fucking trying to fuck me up or anything, you know? I was scared. I was scared of like looking too cute, and then these dudes don't want to leave me alone. I'm just like, duh, I can't.
Especially it being like racing.
Yeah, because also, yeah, we had the Metro Gold Line like right in front of us too. So, dude, there'd be a bunch of crazy people just like coming out, and as soon as I would open the shop doors, like there'd be like a couple tweakers like trying to like come in, ask me for like tattoos, and I'm like, bro, I know you're not gonna get anything. Like let's be for real. And they'd be like, oh, well, I don't know, like how much would you do this for? And I'm like, bro, just get out.
$1 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some crazy stories from working there. It was a trip. I have it so much easier working here.
This area seems pretty nice.
Yeah, it's way more chill. Like we never have any like issues with like homeless people coming in here kind of giving us a hard time. Like all of our clients are able to like park right here around the corner and like not worry about their shit getting towed. I got my car towed while I was working at that Boyle Heights shop. Yeah. It was around my birthday too. I was like, man, fuck.
I think my car getting towed is one of my biggest fears.
Really?
You just come out and that shit's gone.
Dude, it was the first and only time I've ever gotten my shit towed, and it was when I was working in LA. Yeah. It was horrible. I remember like, because I would always call my boyfriend, I would FaceTime him as I'm walking to my car, because I would have to pretty much like go around the block to get to my car. And I would FaceTime him that way just in case like I get jumped or something, like at least he's on the phone and he can call 911 or some shit. But I FaceTimed him and I was walking to my car. At the time I had a Mini Cooper, and yeah, I was walking and I'm talking to him, and then all of a sudden I look up where my car should have been and it's not fucking there, it's gone. And I was like, what the hell? Like, my car's not here. And he was like, what do you mean your car's not there? And I'm like, bro, my car's literally not here. Like, I parked it right there and that shit is gone. He was like, bro, like, check to see if there's like any like broken glass or anything like that. And I was like, there's literally no broken glass. Like, it doesn't look like there was like any commotion or anything. Like, it looks fine. And he was like, well, is there like a tow sign right there? And I'm like, no, literally I parked right here. Like, there's no sign, there's no nothing. That fucking house, whoever lived in there fucking called the tow company to get my shit towed because supposedly I was blocking the driveway. And I was like, bro, like, I have a Mini Coupe. That shit's small. I was like, if I was blocking the driveway, like, I would literally have to be parked in front of that bitch. And I was not. I was, like, in front of the curb. But I was like, whatever.
Towing a Mini Cooper is fucked up.
Yeah. There was, like, some people right there on, like, the balcony next to, like, there was, like, some apartments right there. And I was like, yo, did you guys happen to see the Mini Coupe that was parked right here? Like, that was my car. I just got off of work. Like, I don't know what's happening right now. And they're like, yeah, they came earlier. They put, like, a little ticket right there. And then they came a couple hours later, and then they towed that shit. I was like, fuck. Yeah. Because they came and they put a ticket to, like, just in case, like, I guess, like, I went back and, like, saw it. pretty much like warning me like, hey, you need to move your shit. But whenever I'm at the shop, like I park my car and I don't leave the building. Like I'm in here from the moment we're open till the moment we're closed. So I got there around like 11:40, opened up the shop, pretty much went a whole 8-10 hours without checking my car. And yeah, by the time I got out, it was like 10-11 at night, and yeah, it was pretty much already gone. So I was like, fuck. I went back into the shop and I just sat in the dark crying. I was like, my car, it's gone. It just sucked because I wasn't making any money while I was working in LA. So I was like, man, this is $300 that was gonna last me for like the next month.
And in those moments, it's like everything.
Yeah, dude, it sucked. I was like, this is the last thing I needed. My boyfriend had to spot me and like, he's like, babe, it's gonna be fine. Like, I got you, like, I'll get it. And I was like, I'm gonna quit tattooing. Like, this isn't for me. He's had to talk me out of the ledge like so many times. There's been like a handful of times I've almost quit because I'm like, this shit's not working out. Like, it's been 4 years. Like, when is it gonna be easier? It's never easier. I mean, I already knew it was kind of trendy when I was getting into it, just because everyone wanted to kind of get into it. And it's also just so easily accessible now because you can see a bunch of videos online on how to tattoo. Like, I feel like the algorithm pushes like those educational contents a lot more. So I feel like all the resources are there, but it's definitely like a big thing I think a lot of people want to get into. I've gotten a couple homies and like people that will be like, oh dude, like would you mind teaching me? And I'm always the type where I'm like, no, like not that I'm trying to gatekeep for the sake of gatekeeping, but it's just one of those things where I respect tattooing so much and I hold it very like close to me. And it is such a huge part of my identity that like I understand how much work goes into it, and you can kind of tend to tell who's able to handle that and who's not able to handle it. And I feel like some people want to do it just because they are creative or they have a creative background, and I think that's very cool, but it's also not just like another hobby that you kind of pick up and can kind of fuck around with. Like at the end of the day, you are kind of like handling blood, you're inserting a needle into somebody's skin. Like if it's not done properly and you're not kind of handling it with care, like it could be really dangerous. So on that topic, I feel like everybody wants to get into tattooing. So, and because information is so easily accessible, I feel like people kind of just want to get into it and like kind of pry information out. And I feel like not everything should be shared all the time. I feel like some people should earn it a little bit and kind of work for it. I had to work for it, and I'm not also saying like just because I had to go through such a hard time getting into it that it should be hard for everyone, but it is a craft that you should handle with like care and respect, and I feel like sometimes people don't really understand that. So that's kind of just an emphasis on like what I would like to kind of continue. Like I don't want like someone that just wants to get into it just to get into it without kind of understanding what they're doing getting into it. You know what I mean? Yeah. What happened?
I was gonna say also if you
Oh, thanks. I'm pretty bad about taking breaks. I feel like I'm always like, my client's paying, like let's just fucking do it, you know? I always forget to take breaks. I'm also like just so hyper fixated on like whatever I'm doing. I'm like dialed in.
I've always felt bad with like the torso pieces just because of like you having to stand and like bend over to do it.
Oh yeah.
Because like during those times I've been like, yeah, I'm sure her back is fucking fried.
Dude, cooked. It's so bad.
Yeah, because that'll be like hours.
Yeah, after those tattoos, I'll like kind of just like go on one of the massage tables if they're clean, and I'll just like lay backwards, decompress my back. I know, sometimes I have, a lot of the times with like clients, we have the issue of like them wanting to go smaller with things. Because they're like, oh yeah, sometimes they're scared of the pain if they do end up doing it bigger, but a lot of the times they're like, no, I kind of wanted it like as filler, and it's like, bro, you have a full lady head with like detailed facial features, hair strands, like, you want it this big? You're fucking kidding me, bro. It's not gonna work. Yeah. And then you have to kind of explain to them, like, this is why it's not gonna work. Like, also, sometimes they'll want something super detailed this small, like, on their rib. And it's like, dude, that's blowout central. Like, it's not gonna look good. Sometimes if people are super stubborn, though, I'll just straight up tell them, I'm like, if you want it like that, you want it like that. But I feel like it's my duty to warn you. And that's kind of like the most I can do without kind of being too overbearing, you know? I have had situations though where I'll straight up tell them, or like especially with certain designs, and they're like so set in like their ways, and I'm like, okay, cool, like I'll do it like that, and then it always happens. They come back and they get something different, and they're like, yeah, I kind of regret that I did it this way. And I'm like, bro, could have saved us the hassle.
Some people just gotta experience.
Yeah. I'm like, it's cool. Just a single tear rolling down my face.
Who are some of your favorite artists working now?
Working right now? Julian Bast for sure is one of them. Let's see. Right now I've been in a very huge like tribal wave. I'm actually trying to do more of it, but I'm trying to educate myself a little bit before I kind of dive off the deep end. I do kind of just like little simple stuff where I draw it on, but I eventually want to get more into like Borneo and doing like bodysuits that are kind of like black work a little bit. I've already kind of expanded my library at home with some more tribal books that I've been like on the hunt for. But a lot of the artists that I'm into right now are kind of out of the country. They're like in Spain. I would have to look up their names on Instagram. I follow so many, but here I could show you some of this stuff. There's this one guy, his stuff is super sick. Oh, Sam Rivers. So he does a bunch of stuff like that, but it's like a cohesive like bodysuit, and he just does a bunch of like cool stuff like this. And I don't know like what in my brain switched, but something about just seeing something like that, I'm like, wow, it tickles my brain fancy, you know? But he's a pretty good inspiration of mine at the given moment. Who else do I have? He's a really big one. I think Julian Bast for sure. Rad Nines is still one of like my top female artists. She's the one that did the back of my leg, the skull. She's doing a convention this year, which I think she's running, so super proud of her. But yeah, I mean, she's still killing it. She's really good. Off top, I think that's kind of it right now. I don't want to like ramble on too long.
But what are some of your pet peeves about tattooing, client shop etiquette, or even not getting too much?
I don't really have too many, honestly. Shop etiquette. I mean, I've worked in walk-in shops pretty much like my whole career. Like I started off in a walk-in shop. Like I've only really been in walk-in shops. I feel like they can tend to get a little rowdy sometimes, but I kind of like that. I like how loud it is. I like hearing like people talking to their clients and kind of just joking around, and like the camaraderie of like kind of just going over and seeing like what your homie's working on. Like, I guess that would be a pet peeve. Private studios. Not that I have anything against them. I know there's something that like you reach a certain point in your career where you don't really want to work in a walk-in shop. I haven't reached that by any means. I just don't like the quietness of like private studios. I feel like they're very lonely. I like hanging out. I like seeing what everyone's working on. I like being able to just like talk across the room and be like, yo, like what do you got going on later? So I guess if like you could really like name a pet peeve, that would be one. It's just like not really being able to do that. I haven't done this in a while where like I draw designs and like have the shading references done beforehand. Usually I'll kind of just draw the designs and like figure the shading out as I'm going. So I've been able to like train my brain to kind of just like know what to do. So having to kind of go back and forth between like looking at the reference and making sure I execute it a little bit has been kind of something to get used to again. Not that it's bad, I just kind of like the freedom of like kind of not having to look back and forth sometimes. It's like a different flow. It is less stressful though because I already have it figured out.
Take the thinking out of it.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be tattooing something and I'm like, fuck, like how am I gonna shade this?
It's cool to see like the younger generation kind of like carrying the torch for tattooing, like with integrity and with style. And she's doing sick ass tattoos that I wasn't doing like when I was like her age, basically, you know? I think she's the youngest one here at the shop. So it's cool to be like, I used to be like the youngest one at the shop, and it's cool to see young bucks fucking killing it now, you know? Because there are like young people that get into it and you can tell like, oh, you don't even study this shit, you know? Like you're just trying to do it because you want to get out of your 9 to 5. So it's cool to see someone that's like at the start of their career and kind of already like approaching it the correct way. So, yeah.
All right, I think that's everything. Kind of wipe down your arm pretty good and then kind of let it chill for a little bit before we take some pictures. Sick. All the gray will kind of lighten up. Same with like the shit we did on your torso. Yeah. It'll be a little lighter. Hell yeah. Sick. You can take a look at it in the mirror if you want. Get up. I was like, I can point the light at it a little bit more. Yeah, and then, I don't know what you're planning. Do you have an idea of what you want to do for the shoulder?
I had seen one that was kind of like a web. That's kind of what I thought is like
Okay,
hard
sick.
cuffing.
Yeah,
just 'cause
yeah.
I felt like I could kind of use that to go into certain spots. Mainly just kind of like this area.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because I don't know about like putting a piece here or something.
You can always do, webs are always good. I did some cherry blossoms on this one kid, and those were actually pretty sick. It would be on theme with like,
I was gonna say that
yeah.
makes sense too.
And then I can always finesse the cherry blossoms to kind of fill in. Like I could have some like of the leaves kind of go into like the chest a little bit more. That way it fills those spots. But that's always an option too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sick.
if you have pictures of that, I'll take a look.
Yeah, I think I have pictures on my phone. I can show you really quick. But let me put some ointment on that one. We'll let it bleed for like a couple minutes, kind of let the redness go down, and then we'll take some pictures and all that.
I do. It's on my ankle. I could probably like show you the picture of it. It's gonna be hard to see because my socks or whatever. But yeah, it's just like a skull with tribal. It's like right on my ankle bone. It's like the only spot that I could fit. And we did it for like a trade or something. Yeah, it's a really good tattoo.
I don't know what the best way to do this. My hands, I guess. Yeah. These are, I don't even think a year old yet. I think the left side was done in June of last year and the right side was done in October of last year. And then my ears and my sideburns are also done by her. They're both the same. But I guess just, shows to the consistency of her work, And then when I gotta pull my pants down, I gotta get all naughty, I guess. Yeah, one of my favorite pieces of artwork is this Ed Hardy sheet that has these food dogs on them. And a buddy of mine did one on the left side, and so I knew I wanted to get the red one, and actually I knew I wanted her to do it. And this is kind of what I was talking about those highlighter yellows, she used blue, green, and purple. I mean, something that's super traditional, but maybe not of the norm. And so something like this, I think, just speaks Valerie. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about, wispiness, the flow, everything about it, super organic. And it's a classic staple, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
I'm getting tattooed by her on Thursday, actually. Yeah, I don't have much space left on the body. She's supposed to tattoo my ear on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm at that point now where there's just not much going on except for the face areas, so.
I'm sorry, one more time.
What would you say to anyone considering getting a tattoo from you?
Getting a tattoo from me?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Come get a tattoo. I'm pretty chill. I mean, I'm here all the time. I like to I don't know, I feel like there's a seriousness sometimes with tattooing and it's not really that serious. I don't know, I'm pretty laid back, so if you want to come get tattooed, come in the shop, come get tattooed, or if you want to just talk about a design, I'll chit-chat all day and talk about a design. I'm pretty laid back. I like just kind of yapping. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. I feel like it's pretty easy to get a tattoo for me most of the time. Sometimes I'll have downtime, I feel like the January and February have been a little bit slower, so sometimes people will just walk in and they'll be like, oh, hey, do you have time? And I'm like, yeah, I got all the time. Let's do 1, let's do 5. I don't care. We'll do as many as you want. So either walk in. I also have a website now. I spend a lot of time kind of tweaking it, but I feel like it saves a lot of time for booking, and then it has my calendar on there too, so I feel like it's a lot easier for people to not only check prices, but just check my availability. And I tend to update it as much as possible. That way it's my true schedule and what I have available right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Sick. Hopefully I answered that one okay. Yeah, thank you.